Our journey is about the descent and the ascent, and that in making the descent and then returning, we are no longer daughter. We're no longer daughter of the patriarchy, and we're no longer our mother's daughter. We are ourself. We have become whole in the descent. When she returns, she's no longer identified with the patriarchy. She has known the deep feminine.
Maureen Murdock wrote The Heroine's Journey in response to the gaps she saw in Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, particularly in how it overlooked the feminine experience. Unlike the hero's journey, which sends the hero out to conquer external challenges and return transformed, the heroine's journey transforms through internal descent, going down and in toward wholeness. This journey, Murdock explains, is about healing the deep cultural wounding of the feminine. The film Black Swan is a chilling example of this psychological descent. In the beginning, the main character, Nina, played by Natalie Portman, is the ultimate good girl.
I think that's really where Nina is at the beginning. She's trying to please her director of her company. She's trying to be this perfect child, for her mother, for her company.
Her dream is to play the lead role in her company's production of Swan Lake, a role that would require her to dance two opposing characters, the white and the black swan. She's already the perfect embodiment of the white swan.
The truth is, when I look at you, all I see is the white swan.
She's dedicated and obsessed and hardworking, but it's not letting her be free enough or sensual enough.
But in order to dance the Black Swan, she needs to recover the parts of herself that she's abandoned in order to be perfect. The parts of herself that have been deemed unacceptable by a system that demands she remain small, controlled, and compliant. The people-pleasing good girl needs to die for Nina to become whole, to become a woman. But how does this transformation happen? And what can her journey teach us about reclaiming the parts of ourselves we've been taught to abandon? To understand that, we first need to explore the environment that shaped her this way.
I thought it was really clever of Darren to set the film in the ballet world because I feel like can stand in for sort of the larger world for women. Mm-hmm. It's a female art ballet, but yet it's largely male-dominated. The directors of the companies, the big companies are often men, and they keep the women as little girls. They refer to them as girls, and they keep them having those skinny bodies, which I always thought was just an outcome of dancing that much, but I realized was actually from deprivation.
Natalie's observation cuts right to the core. Ballet may look like a celebration of femininity, but behind the curtain, it's a world built on control, infantilization, rigid discipline, and deprivation. In Black Swan, it becomes the perfect representation of patriarchy itself. To succeed, girls are trained to chase the archetype of the good girl, using perfectionism as their pathway to approval in a male-dominated world. In the film, Thomas Leroy, the company director played by Vincent Cassel, represents this male-dominated structure.
It's a tough world, dance, ballet in particular. The name of the character is Le Roi, the king. Mm-hmm. So they are like kings, they really decide on who's going to become a star, who is going to stay in the back forever.
If Thomas embodies the patriarchy, then Nina's relationship with other women reflects the damage that system has caused.
And that's really the world of women. I mean, where you're so easily replaceable, you hit a certain age and there's someone waiting to take your spot who's younger than you. Younger, thinner, prettier.
We see this through Beth, Winona Ryder's character, who Nina is replacing, and also through Lily, who represents the threat of Nina's own replacement. All of this competition is orchestrated by Thomas.
Watch the way she moves. Imprecise, but effortless.
My character definitely has a problem with power, obviously.
Thomas manipulates Nina's need for approval, resulting in her seeing Lily as competition, rather than recognizing how the system deliberately divides them. Perhaps the most troubling of Nina's relationships with other women is the one with her mother, Erica. Rather than supporting Nina's independence, Erica serves as an enforcer of the same oppressive system, keeping Nina in perpetual girlhood. Nina's bedroom is a glaring example of this. She is a 28-year-old woman with a bedroom decorated for a young girl. Her mother still dresses her and cuts her nails, treating her like a child who can't care for herself. This control extends to emotional manipulation, as Nina feels pressured to forgo her own agency in favor of pleasing her mother. Nina has been trained to prioritize others' comfort over her own needs by Erica, who, damaged by the same system, now enforces it on her daughter. Both are trapped in the cycle, just at different stages. This pattern, as Murdock explains, is deeply embedded in our culture.
People don't realize how hard it is to remove the patriarchal mind. We were talking before about the need to please and the need for approval. I mean, we all grow up wanting approval from both our mothers and fathers, and our whole life is predicated basically on pleasing the patriarchy.
But many women reach a point where that need to please becomes unbearable. It may show up as burnout, depression, or a gnawing sense that something is wrong or missing. This breaking point, Murdock argues, marks the start of a crucial turning point.
And that's when I really find that they start their descent. And that is when they really touch into the dark feminine. They touch their despair, they touch their rage. They begin to see that a lot of aspects of themselves have nothing to do with who they really are, but they've put on these different roles, just like putting on different clothes, because they've been expected to. So they go through a period where they don't want to be doing what everyone else asks them to do. And they really have to come to terms with, okay, who am I and what's missing in my life?
What exactly is this dark feminine that Murdock mentions? The dark feminine refers to the shadow side of feminine energy, not in a bad way, but in the way Jungian psychology talks about the shadow as the part of ourselves that is hidden, repressed, or not socially acceptable. Under patriarchy, women's shadows are filled with exactly what you'd expect. Things like their power, rage, sexuality, and authentic desires. For Nina, her suppressed shadow breaks through as hallucinations and paranoia, a complete psychological unraveling. As Murdock described, we begin to see Nina starting to reject what everyone else expects of her. As she starts to reject being controlled, Lily becomes something more than just competition. She's a mirror reflecting everything Nina has been forced to repress: pleasure, spontaneity, playfulness, and sexuality. This is why Nina's reaction to her is so intense. We see our repressed parts in the people who trigger us most. Her paranoia that Lily will take her role masks a deeper fear, that embracing these qualities will shatter the carefully constructed identity she spent her life perfecting. Confronting these repressed parts through Lily pushes Nina past her breaking point. The boundaries between self and shadow, real and imagined, completely dissolve. What she's been fighting against becomes what she must embrace. What has been brewing internally throughout Nina's journey finally erupts during the opening night of the performance of Swan Lake. In the first act, Nina comes on stage and dances the role of the White Swan. During the performance, she sees Lily transform into her double. Shaken and blinded by the lights, she falls. Afterwards, she returns to her dressing room to find Lily there, offering to dance the Black Swan in her place. The confrontation turns violent. This is a deeply symbolic moment, to me, I can't help but see the connection to another archetype of the dark feminine, Kali, the Hindu goddess of both destruction and creation. She powerfully embodies the aspects of the feminine that are fierce, transformative, unafraid of destruction, and the energy that is needed for liberation.
Kali grinds us up and lets us know that we're not who we thought we were. I mean, that's the power of the Kali. For a lot of women, they have to get in touch with the rage of Kali to get beyond patriarchal mind. And it takes that. It takes rage. It takes moving into a type of warrioress that says, I'm going to start speaking my truth, thank you. You know, your truth doesn't work for me anymore. And you might not like what comes out of my throat. You might not like my words. They may not be pretty. They may not be the nice girl words that I was taught. But for me to touch into my power, I need to find my truth. That's what Kali teaches us. She dances on the dead. And the dead is really that part of ourself, that nice girl part that doesn't get us very far.
This violent confrontation is Nina completing her descent to the underworld. But instead of being destroyed by what she finds there, she's completely transformed from it. When Lily appears to congratulate her, Nina realizes the truth. It wasn't Lily she had killed, but the part of herself that had been holding her back.
You know, at the end of the movie, when they put the blood on me, some got on my tights, and I was like, Darren, this looks like a period. This is, and he's like, that's intentional. He's like, she's becoming a woman. And then I understood everything, that she has to kill the little girl to become the woman.
Nina's journey is ultimately about ending her own self-abandonment. Through killing the good girl, she takes back her dark side, all the parts of herself she had been alienated from for so long.
Taking back the dark means taking back all of those unacceptable thoughts, all of those unacceptable words, all of those unacceptable feelings. Taking back women's rage, taking back women's sensuality, taking back women's sexuality. Taking back the dark is also really taking back the parts of ourselves that we don't like, that we project onto other people. So taking back the dark is taking back the disgusting parts, the disappeared parts, the disowned parts. It's taking back all of the parts of myself and reconfiguring them. You know, it's having the courage to stand behind your words and having the courage to believe yourself. So I think taking back the dark is taking back your own truth.